Uh, the Regina Stellium, Queen of Stars, spoken of in some of the ancient systems, appertains to the same fable. Also, the tradition of Achilles of Greece being invulnerable in his heel, as related by Homer. The last clause of the first text quoted reads, "It shall bruise thy head," and very curious prophetic references to a savior of the world, if the text refers to him to represent him as being of a neuter gender. For the neuter pronoun, it is always referring to a thing without sex. I'm going to say that again. It refers to him or represent him as being of the neuter gender. For the neuter pronoun, it always refers to a thing without sex. In the further exposition of the serpent tradition, we are now brought to notice and would trace to its origins the story of the original transgression and fall of man, two cardinal doctrines of the Christian religion. Like every other tenet of the Christian faith, we find these doctrines taught in heathen systems much older than Christianity, and whose antiquity antedates even the birth of Moses. That's right. We will first notice the Persian tradition. According to the doctrine of the Persians, the Messiah and Messianim, the first man and the first woman, were pure and submitted to Ormuzd, their maker, meaning God. But Ahriman, Ahriman, the evil one, saw them and envied them their happiness. He approached them under the form of a serpent, presented fruits to them, and persuaded them that he was the maker of man, of animals and plants, and of the beautiful universe in which they dwelt. They believed it since the time Ahriman was their master. The natures become corrupt, and this corruption infested with the whole posterity. The story is taken from the Vandid Asade of the Persians. Did you hear that? Write this down. Vandid, Vandidatsade. And this is where they get the nature of the Adam and the Eve. Persian religion was way before Christian religion. Okay? The Indian or Hindu story that is furnished by Father Buchak in a letter to the bishops of Avranches said this: "Our Hindus say the gods try by all means to obtain immortality. After many inquiries and trials, they conceived the idea that they will find it in the tree of life, which is in the Chorcan, 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 which means paradise. In fact, they succeeded, and by eating once in a while of the fruits of that tree, that kept the precious treasure that they so valued. A famous snake named Cheiden, Cheiden, saw that the tree of life had been found by the gods of the second order, as probably had been entrusted with guarding that tree. He became so angry because his vigilance had been deceived, and he immediately poured out an enormous quantity of poison which spread over the whole earth. How much like the story is in St. John, and the serpent cast out his mouth of water as a flood after the woman, that he may cause her to be carried away in the flood. Revelations. The idea of a snake or serpent inundating the earth from his mouth, as taught in both stories, is so novel and so far removed from the sphere of natural causes and possible events that we are compelled to the conclusion that one is borrowed from the other, or both from a common original. And as facts cited in other chapters, beyond dispute that the Hindu system containing this story extends in antiquity far beyond the time of Moses. The question is thus settled as to which system borrowed the story from the other. Before closing the chapter, we will wish to call the attention of the reader to the important fact that 3 out of 4 of the cardinal doctrines of the Christian faith are taught in 2 heathen mythological stories of creation just presented to you. The original sin, the fall of man caused by a serpent, the consequent corruption and depravity of the human race, and these doctrines then, it must be admitted, are of heathen origin and not, as Christians claim, important truth revealed from heaven. For historical exposition of the other cardinal doctrine of Christian faith, man's restoration by the atonement achieved through the crucifixion of a God. That's the end of chapter 3.